Hey, this is Brian Evans with thefirstdeal.com coming at you with another great video lesson. If you want to learn more about how to invest in real estate the right way from somebody that does it for a living, a two-time best-selling author, my company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, go to thefirstdeal.com, download my free CD where I talk about my business and explain how I invest in real estate. You'll get a lot of great insights and tips from that. And if you want to learn more about how to grow your own business, whether you are a brand new investor or a seasoned investor looking to break through that glass ceiling, then there'll be some great tips and things for you to learn after you download that CD as well. So today I want to talk to you about renegotiating contracts. We put a lot of properties under contract, and I'm here to tell you that if you don't make offers on houses, you're not going to make money. So it starts with making offers, not being afraid to make offers. So I want to tell you two examples of making offers where we then went back and renegotiated the contracts, and it's very interesting how both of these deals turned out. The first one is a property that is worth about $250,000, $275,000 fixed up, possibly. Now it also could possibly be worth $175,000 or maybe $190,000. This was a house that was very, very difficult to determine what the resale value potential would be after we fixed it up, simply because it was in a remote location. It had some land, but the land wasn't the best land in the world. It had some it had some funniness to it. So we felt conservatively, hopefully between 175 to 190 would be a resale potential, with a bonus of maybe selling it in the mid-twos, really depending on what the market would bear. And we would obviously try to list it higher if possible. But here's what happened. So put this property under contract for $110,000. Every property that I buy, if I'm going to bring cash to the table and plan on investing and rehabbing this property, every property I buy, no matter what, I always get an inspection on the home. The reason is because you never know what that inspection will find. Because I'm not going to go under crawl spaces and jump on roofs for every single house. It's just not feasible. My job is to find properties, put them under contract, negotiate the deals, and make sure they get closed, bring money to the table, things like that, grow the business. So every property we buy, before we bring cash to the table and close, and before we do a title inspection, we always do a property inspection. We have our inspector go out to our properties. In this case, in this house, he went out, looked at it, and found quite a few things that were making us feel uneasy, myself and my team, about moving forward with this investment. So the fact that we couldn't really determine a great resale value, and the fact that there were some other issues with the house that we just weren't so sure about, that we possibly would have to put more money into it. It was not working for our budget. So we got the inspection back. We went back and tried to renegotiate the contract. In this case, we went back at 105. We went back at 100. And the seller went down to 105, and that was the best the seller would do. The best he would do was 105. So we just said, fine, we're going to walk away. So sometimes when you get inspections, you're going to lose a little money on the deals that you don't do. But I tell you what, if you think of it that way, that's the wrong way to think, because the right way to think is you didn't lose money. You just saved money, because that inspection allowed you to determine the facts about whether this was a good deal to purchase or not, because you don't want to get into something where there's unknown costs that you couldn't foresee, which would obviously blow up your deal. So in this case, we went back at 100. He said 105 was the best we could do, so we walked away from this contract. We decided to walk away. Here's what happened. It's really interesting. This guy finally decided he was going to put the property on the market with a real estate agent. I think he listed the house for 105. Maybe it was 110. Here's what we did. We thought to ourselves, you know what? We've got nothing to lose. Let's go in and make an offer on this property under a separate business, under one of our separate business names, and see what happens. We went in and we offered $65,000 for this house, and he came back, or the counter was no counter. The realtor said, we're not even going to counter your offer, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why we did that is because we gave the seller our inspection. We always do that. If we ever counter, we go back and we give the seller our inspection, because we want them to know what we know. We want them to see the reason why our counter is what it is. So we gave that to him. So he already knew in the back of his mind that there was a lot of things this house needed that he didn't know as well. Went back at $65,000. He didn't counter, so we said, tell you what, go up to $75,000. We went back up at $75,000, and he countered. He countered us at $85,000, just like that. And keep in mind that he's going to have to pay realtor fees. Well, we decided to counter one last time. Let's go back at 80. So we went back at 80,000, and his stipulation was, through his realtor, of course, was as long as you can close within 2 weeks, I'll do it. So he accepted our contract for 80,000. So we originally were going to buy this thing for 110, and then we countered back at 100, and now we ended up buying this property for, what did I say, $80,000. So that just goes to show you that the power of getting inspections and the willingness to renegotiate. Just because you have something in writing doesn't mean that you can't renegotiate it. And I want to be clear and say that, yes, we had this property under contract, but my contract says it's a one-page simple thing. I'm either buying this property as is, or I can check the other box that says I'm buying the property as is after inspection. So that allows me to get out of this house if I choose to. And so that's what we always do. So in this case, that's the example there. We bought this house for $80,000. Pretty cool. We're going to make a good amount of money doing that. Second deal, real quick, another short story, is we recognize the power of going back through the realtor. So we decided, let's find some other properties that are listed, have been listed on the market for a long period of time, and for some reason are not selling, and we believe that they could be worth quite a bit more than what the list price is. So we found another house, and what we did was, I can't remember what the exact numbers were. We just literally put this property under contract yesterday, and I think it was listed at 100. This property is easily worth $125,000, $130,000. It's a great house, but for some reason it has a bad aura around it, and I think it was under contract at one time with a different buyer. But what happened was the buyer did an inspection on the property, found a lot of things. The buyer walked away. I believe the seller did a bunch of repairs to it, and then put it back on the market. So this thing had been on the market for over a year, close to even 2 years possibly. So, and it was listed with the same realtor, so there was no change. So it just had a bad perception. For some reason, people were just afraid of this house, is my guess. We decided to go and make an offer on this property, and I think we offered $70,000 on this property. It was listed at 100. We offered 70. They came back at 90. Let's see. They came back at 80,000. That's what it was. They came back at 80,000, just like that. We'd said, okay, we'll take it, but we're going to get an inspection, right? We always get an inspection from our guy, and our guy is very detailed. He takes great pictures, so that way we know comfortably what's going on. And after the inspection, we got it back, and Kalisa, my vice president, and I, we looked at this deal. We said, you know what? With these extra things, there was some water damage under the crawl space. We would have to fix some floor joist, and there were some issues that structurally were not good. We have to probably put another $5 or $6 grand into this property, and we would still do okay. But what we decided to do is, let's go back at our original $70,000 and see what happens. The very next day, we got a text message from our realtor saying they're going to take the 70, but you got to close before November 19th. So we said, done, we'll do it. So we signed the contract, and there we are. So this property we were going to buy for 80. We went back and got it for 10,000 less. So that just goes to show you, and I want you to understand the power of your creativity here. And if you have an inspection, if you have third-party data to justify a lower offer after that's done, then you have a lot more power. You have a lot more leverage, because now it's not just what you want to buy it for and what they want to sell it for. It's also about what an expert inspector, so to speak, believes the property needs in additional repairs in order to make it a good, livable, functional home. So get inspection on the properties. Don't be afraid to renegotiate, and by all means, don't be afraid to put properties under contract and make offers, because again, if you're not making offers, you're not making money. So this is a very important video. I went through it very, very fast. There's a lot of great tips in here, so go back and listen to it again. And if you have any questions about investing in real estate, go to thefirstdeal.com, download my free CD, ask us questions, and we're here for you to help you close your first deal or your first 100 deals. So I've got a packed day today. Hopefully we can put some more properties under contract and make it a great one. So listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You have an awesome day. This is Brian Evans with thefirstdeal.com, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Take care. Bye.